All right, shalom, shalom, Akim. Would like to first off and foremost give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Rekakodash, the belongs to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone rule well, and much peace, safety, and blessings to the hopefully elect throughout the four winds, pushing his truth and sincerity and diligence. All right, as Brother Lord Yah from the Great Millstone, Lake Charles, Louisiana camp, coming back again with another brief lesson. And as always, Lord, will it be edifying to the elect. And, through the Spirit, just want to go into a brief lesson and ultimately, Lord, will it be edifying? Just basically touching upon how Esau, Edom, which is the Caucasian nation, so to say, according to the scriptures, their everyday life, man, they're not troubled. All right, they're not troubled. These people have more than their hearts can desire. You see, and you see it, which we see it in everyday life, but for brothers that, that ultimately hasn't just been around, Edom like that to see how much into detail and deliciously, these heathens are, it's way far beyond, what your the average mindset can comprehend, so to say, man, there's some things that these elites basically partake into, that you would be surprised by. Okay. But as far as their everyday living, man, they're not in poverty. Let me get that real quick. Let me get that. This is Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. It says, whereas Edom said, we are impoverished, but we will return and build desolate places. Thus said the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness. This nation is the border of wickedness, right? It says, and the people against whom the Most High Yahweh had indignation forever. Now, according to the scriptures, in the book of Romans, it lets you know that what the Lord is long suffering, to let the vessels that were fit for destruction to ultimately rule, for that period of time which the Lord granted them. But we are at the end of that rulership. Okay, we're at the end of this rulership, and if you see, how they say they want to rebuild, it tells us that in Psalms, it says what they basically expect that. Let me get it. The houses shall continue forever. They really believe this. They really believe this. But what? It's going to be of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to ultimately take it away from them. Right? All right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 49 and verse 11. It says their inward thought. See, goes into their mindset, their intention. Okay. It says their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever and their dwelling places to all generations. They called their lands after their own names. You see? They called their lands after their own names, man. And that's how you get all of these places, man. That has Edomite names now. Because what they go with their big ass eyes, man, and what you have happen is they basically be in their covetous spirits. All right, they being at their covetousness spirit. They covet fields, as it speaks about in the book of Micah, the 2nd chapter. They covet fields, right? So this is Psalm 73 and verse 5. It says they are not troubled as other men. Neither are they plagued like other men. You see, these are the devils that's on the top tier. They're on the top tier rank, man. And they let their pride ultimately deceive them. That's why it tells us real quick. I'll grab it in the book of Obadiah. This is Obadiah in verse 3. It says, the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, man. By you living deliciously, you have no one for your soul, which we know that you people, the heathens are not going to be called upon the Lord. It tells us that the name of the Lord is dreadful among the heathen, which is not for you to call upon the Lord. But what, man? The Lord have ultimately given you these things. The Lord have ultimately given you these things. And yet you're here to deceive the nation of Israel as well. You're here to Esau, Edom, you got so filthy and basically covetous and greedy, that with that old American greed, right? You've been in this situation to where you deceive your own people to thinking that y'all gonna receive the kingdom of heaven, man. That's how much pride you have, right? It says the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts and rocks. It says whose habitation is high, right? And this is the key indicator exactly who is it speaking on, man. Esau, Edom. They want to live in the highest buildings. They want to jack their the trucks up to the highest pinnacle state. You see, when you look at the Roman Empire, right? How you had the cameras for the overseers to look down upon the people. You have that same structure here in America, you know, and that's ultimately let you know who was ruling. Okay, it says that said in his heart, going right back to his mindset, who shall bring me down to the ground? You see. It says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and then we all know that America's basically symbol is the bald eagle. It says, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, said the Most High Yahweh. You see? So your time is coming. You're not troubled like other men, mainly the men of Israel, you know? And that's what's going to make the kingdom, you know, once these roles reverse, so beautiful for us, you know, and so worse for them. You know, all Jake's live, it tells us in Sirach the 40th chapter, what great travail shall basically be upon the sons of Adam until we return to the mother of all things, you know. So ultimately, we were created for hardship. We were created for tough times, and ultimately, what having the spirit power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua to overcome those things, man, you know. It tells us in the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter, that what Jacob was strong, all right. Hey, Esau, Edom, you've never been strong, you know. Mentally, neither physical, you know. This is Psalm 73 in verse 5. It says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. The conditions, man, the conditions that other men have, you know, not knowing what you're going to eat, not knowing where you're going to stay at, or having certain bills and things come your way. And you have you know how Jake have these jobs to where it pay minimum wage, man. You know, if that. Sometimes it's even far more worse, you know. But what, Esau, Edom, you don't have to worry about these things, you know. So that's why when the Lord ultimately has this place come crashing and falling down, which we see it, you know, it's not going to be risen up anymore, all right? You're not going to be risen up anymore. You're not going to be puffed up with pride. You're actually going to see what it feels like to be to the very bottom, man. You know, you're going to go back to your natural estate. Let me get that real quick, you know, in the book of Obadiah as well. You know, this is the book of Obadiah in verse 15. It says, for the day of the Most High Yahweh by Shem Yahushua is near upon all the heathen, right? As thou hast done, because you're not, the other heathens are not excluded, you know, but mainly the Spirit just got the topic for you today. You know, it says, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. You see? So when you look at the things, the rape, rob, and murder you've done, you know, the shedding of the innocent blood, the taking the lands, right? The putting the GMOs food, you know, the spraying the chemtrails. These are all things that you have done, right? Let me get it real quick. This is Zechariah 1:14. It says, I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease. You see? This is the Lord that's very sore displeased with you. It says, for I was but a little displeased, right? With us, with Israel. It says, and they helped for the affliction. So you for the affliction, you did a great X amount of things, you know, additional, adding additional heat, adding additional stress, you know, additional situations, wicked laws and decrees, you know. But it tell you what these devils, let me get it real quick. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13. Yep. Chapter 13 and 7. It says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints. You see? That's you furthering the affliction. Mainly with the saints. The elect men that's pushing this truth. You know, Lord willing, you know, we build that number. What, you're making war with them because what? These men, you know, we're the ones in the know. You know? Everybody else is cool with the shit that you're doing. You beat them down. You know, but what? Yahweh Shem Yahushua has loosened us from that great mind chain that's on the mind. You know? it says, and to overcome them, and the power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. You see? And that's why we're assigned for the abomination that's being done in the midst, because you for the affliction. Okay? But yeah, all the things that you did is going to return upon your own head. All right? Real quick, let me get back to the Psalms. This is Psalms. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, and verse 6. It's right back to that pride. It says, therefore, so being that you're not troubled as other men, you pull up in your McLaren, you pull up in your Benz, your AMG, your G-Wagon, your Bugatti, your Lamborghini, so forth and so on, right? It says, therefore, pride have compassed them about as a chain. Even when it comes to laws, you have some elites, that they'll get stopped, and they'll roll the window down and tell the cop, hey, man, you better get your car for you don't have a job. You see? It says, therefore, pride has compassed them about as a chain, right? And when you look at a chain has links. A chain has links, and that link is what continual, all right? It never stops, all right? That link never stops, okay? It says, violence covered them as a garment from head to foot. This is all this devil is about, violence, 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 right? That's why the scriptures say shit. Thus with violence shall America be thrown down, right? It says their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than heart could wish for. You're not troubled. You see? A lot of these Edomites don't even have to work. They have these inheritance and things of that nature. Riches got by what? Deceit. Let me get that. This is Sirach 10, and I'll start at verse 7. All right, it says, pride is hateful before the Most High man, and by both done one commit iniquity. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. You see? Then it goes down and says, well, why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. This is Esau Edom. He's that covetous man. It says, for such as one set it his own soul to sell, because while he liveth, he cast away his bowels. He don't have no integrity. You see? You have no more integrity. Esau Edom, he wasn't thinking about long-term, long-term decisions when he sold, the birthright. He said, shit, if I die, what good is it for me? What good is it for me if I'm a dead man? You see? And that's ultimately what this whole fight is about between Jacob and Esau, which, by way of prophecy, it all had to, hey, man, the Lord loves things to be in a dramatical way, That's why these people get movies from. They'll take situations and things out the scriptures and make movies on it, But we're living the best movie of all time, And Lord willing, we be of the elect, and we have a great role in this movie. You see? You got Esau, Edom, you got Jacob, you got the 12 tribes came out of Jacob's name was changed to Israel, constant tension, the Lord kept giving warnings, so he led us away, right? And we came into captivity for each individual captivity. Now we're at the last one where you finally learn your lesson. This is the last time you go to jail and you find you learn your lesson, like, okay, man, we'll never do that shit again, And what's so beautiful is that the Lord is going to ultimately have the new covenant be to where we're not going to go off. All right. Then what? The lowly, the one that's all the way at the bottom, he's going to rise at the end. They're going to rise at the end. They're waiting for their brother to come and ultimately deliver them out of this situation. Right. And then the one that was powerful throughout the whole movie, He was the bully. He wanted to, do all things within where an excess was required, riding, things of that nature, to where all he did was stress the earth out, the whole earth. But it's coming to an end, It's coming to an end. And these people will soon see, what it feels like, man. They're going to go back to their natural state, which is what? The basis of men. All right. real quick. Let me get this in Luke. This is Luke chapter 16 and verse 19. Luke 16 and 19. It says, there was a certain rich man, Esau Edom. It says, which was clothed in purple. Purple ultimately what is a not a characteristic, but a indication, so to say. You know, that basically trying to see what word I want to use. But it describes royalty. All right. It says, and fine linen, and fared sumptuously every day. This man lived let's get this word. Fared. All right. When you go to sumptuously, it basically means to live luxury. All right. Well, fair does. All right. It says splendidly, magnificently, you know, a sumptuous living, to live luxuriously, to live brilliantly. You see, Esau Edom lives brilliantly. All right. They have the best of the best food, you know, the best of the best neighborhoods. Right. It says, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus. And Lazarus is that spiritual representation of Israel. It says, which was laid at his gate full of sores. All right. That's why it tells us that in Isaiah, the 1st chapter. You know, let me get it. I'll just grab it real quick. Let me get that. Those sores, man. This is Isaiah. This is Isaiah 1 and 6. You know, I start at 5. It says, why should ye be stricken anymore? You will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick. The whole heart is faint. From the sole of the foot even unto the head, there is no soundness in it. Right. And what gives us that sound is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So that's why our wounds have ultimately been healed, but they're going to be fully healed, you know, when Yahushua makes their return, you know, but what the word have ultimately bounded them up. All right. It says, but wounds and bruises and putrefying sores, they have not been closed, neither bound up, neither mollified with ointment. You see? And that's why when we go to Luke, the 16th chapter, it basically describes Lazarus with all of those wounds, man. You know, he's not in his natural state. All right. This is Luke 16 and 19. It says, it's like in verse 21, it says, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. Moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. And that's all these heathens do, man. They'll try to give you a fucking 25-cent raise. That's nothing, you know. But that's what Israel has been brought down to, you know, to believing that that's good. You give Jake a company truck, you can't tell him nothing. Like, bro, this is bullshit, you know. And that's why, you know, we should be constantly praying to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Hey, man, come and deliver us, man, you know. Which we have to be patient, you know. That comes with it. You know, being patient, but, you know, hey, man, we must sigh and cry, you know. But it shows you they desire to be fed with crumbs, man. You don't get nourishment from crumbs, okay? You get nothing beneficial from a crumb. If anything, that hey, man, getting a crumb will make you more hungry, man. You know, that'll add more affliction, you see? It says, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angels into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried, you know. And that goes into a deeper, you know, breakdown, because ultimately what you understand, you know, with this scripture, Esau Edom, man, he's going to fall out of their rulership, you know. He's going to fall out of their rulership, man. And we're ultimately going to inherit the kingdom of heaven. All right. You're going to see Abraham we're going to see Abraham in the kingdom. That's why it says what the rich man asked Lazarus to dip. Let me get it real quick. Right here, verse 24. It says, and he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me. No, man, it's not going to be no mercy, man. All right. It says, and send Lazarus that he may dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame. You see? So he's going to ultimately want mercy, you know? And that goes to show you there's not going to be no hell underground, man. All right? The conditions and the roles for you people are going to change. All right? And you're going to hate it. You're supposed to hate it. You know? You're supposed to. So, yeah, man, it won't be no mercy, man. Everything that you did to the Negroes, Latinos, and Natives here while we was in y'all hands, along with the other heathens' hands, these roles are soon to reverse, you know. And you're ultimately at the brink of seeing the Lord lift up Israel, man. You know, the elect of Israel first and foremost. You know, so with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakakodash, double honor to the elders and apostles of great millstone, the rule well, and much peace, safety, and blessings to the hopeful elect throughout the four winds, pushing his truth and sincerity and diligence. Till next time, Shalom.